Hi everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Relegation Rescue with Augsburg in the Bundesliga. Welcome along. So since the last time we were together, I've had one game that we played off screen, and that was against Union Berlin. We won it 4-1 very comfortably. You can see that the likes of Just Greg and Finn Bogerson both got a goal, which was really encouraging, and we played very, very well. So if that's a sign of things to come, then we're going to be absolutely fine here at Augsburg. You can see that we're currently sitting 3 points off a big bunch of teams on 17 points, and that would help us get out of the relegation if we can just get part of that group in the next couple of games and then sort of use them to jump up again. That would be really, really great. So there is sight that we could get out of this problem, definitely. So the game against Union Berlin was brilliant. We've got a game against Werder Bremen, one of those 17-point clubs today. So if we can win against them, that would be brilliant. They're sitting in 13th place, so that's a really winnable fixture for us. Finances are still not brilliant. We're still in the red. I have done a bit more transfer business. We haven't spent any money. We bought a little bit in, so I hoped that would change a little bit, but it hasn't so far. But in terms of wage structure and other things, it's much, much better than it was. So the transfer dealings that we did, if we go and have a look at the transfer history, you can see down here we got rid of a few players in the end. Pedersen went, Bayer went, Cordova went. There's a little bit of money came in at that back end of the transfer window. We didn't spend any money other than on a few youngsters with some fairly minimal bits of transfer finance. The person that we bought in was Gil Diaz on the last couple of days of the transfer window between now and the last episode, and this is our right-sided option that I was looking for. It was the best that I could find. He'll back up Hahn down that right-hand side. Hahn will play a lot because he's very good, but this guy comes into the club on loan just for the second half of the season, and he's got a decent rounded attributes. None of them are particularly spectacular, but if need be, I think he'll come in and do an okay job for us, and that's the type of player that I was looking for. So that's the finances, that's the schedule that we've got on today. Werder Bremen, as I say, we've looked at the transfer dealings, we've seen where we are in the terms of the relegation area. So in terms of the actual squad of players, this is the squad that we've now got to work with. Quite a few loan players in there, but that's what I felt was best for the second half of the season, just to give us a boost up that table. You can see that we've got a couple of knocks. Just Greg is out for 2 to 4 weeks, unfortunately, twisted knee, just as he was getting a little bit of form, which is really disappointing, but he'll come back into the side at some point, no doubt. A couple of slight knocks on the bench, but mostly they're coming back from and they're looking reasonable. Gibbs White has come back from a bit of a knock. He's returning to full-time fitness imminently, so he can sit on the bench today. You can see that both his conditioning and match sharpness are pretty good, so he can find his way on the bench. Other than that, Batista Meyer's a little bit below par, and so is Mavropanos, so we haven't given him his debut just yet, but that's coming, and hopefully in the next couple of games that will come. So for today's game against Werder Bremen, real tricky tie against them because they're an immediate rival, but for that particular game we've got Kubek in goal, Yevve at right back, Max at left back, Udikai and is it Suchi? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change another name. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go in here and set a nickname, and we're going to set it as... There we go. Such Fun. If you're a fan of the Miranda TV series that happened in the UK a number of years ago, you'll see where that one comes from. But that's where Such Fun is going to sit in defence with Udikai, and those two hopefully will keep out the pressure from Werder Bremen today. We've got Gruso and Elena in central midfield. We've got Hahn on the right, Vargas on the left, Richter in for Just Greg, and Finn Bogerson up top, with a bench of Mavropanos, Framberger, Iago, Gibbs White, Moravec, Diaz, Meyer, Niedlichner, and Scheiber. That's another one I'm going to have to change at some point. If you've got a name to change Niedlichner to, put it in the comments below and we'll see what we can do. Oh dear, I hate pronouncing these names sometimes. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the game and see what happens. So I've just suggested to the players that the media have been on their backs for ages. Now is a chance to really stick it to them and prove them wrong. So hopefully that will just give them a little bit of a boost. We're in our white kits today at home, which is good, but it's an opportunity for Werder Bremen straight away. and they maintain possession in the centre of midfield, go out wide right. Can they get a cross in? They've held the play up very nicely, and there's a reasonable shot, but it doesn't really challenge the keeper too much, does it? And Kubek comes away with the ball, goes long into the wide left area. Can Vargas pick it up? He can, and he's got a chance to run his fullback. He chose not to, crosses it straight into Hahn, who's come centrally into midfield. Out wide left to Max. Max onto Elena, strike at goal, and the follow-up, brilliant follow-up by Finn Bogerson. Oh, brilliant strike by Elena. Some good build-up play down the left-hand side by Vargas. Eventually it comes into Hahn in midfield, along to Elena, out to Max, and then back in again to Elena. And a decent strike, and the goalkeeper can only parry it. And Finn Bogerson, on the really acute angle, gets it left-footed and hooks it back into the goal. And we take a 1-0 lead so early in the game after a minute or two of the game. And that's really encouraging. So Jedve with the throw-in, Hahn moves it on, and Vargas with the strike, and it gets blocked, but Hahn picks up the loose ball. Out wide left to Max, and Max with a header. Our left fullback with a brilliant header. He's a great player, isn't he? But he got a lovely cushioned header into that far corner. And after 6 minutes, we are absolutely dominating this game, which is brilliant to see. Really great shot by Vargas that was blocked, good defending. Hahn was held up for a second, gets it out from his feet, sees the run of Max and puts it smack on his head, and a lovely cushioned header into that far post. And we take a 2-0 lead so early on. And after the 4-1 of Union Berlin, we've really begun to hit some good form at exactly the right moment, which is brilliant to see. And it's Werder Bremen with a really poor goal kick, and Hahn picks up the loose ball, drives into the penalty box, cuts it back in, and we've taken a 3-0 lead after 16 minutes. And Richter, who's come in for just Greg, has an opportunity to show that he's got some, scoring boots of his own, and he's really demonstrated on that occasion. Hahn picked up that loose ball and just drove into that penalty box. Nobody was going to stop him, and then he finds Richter on the near post, and again he hooks it very nicely into that very small gap between post and goalkeeper. And what a brilliant start. For a second I thought, they're not going to show us offside surely, and they didn't, which is great. And we are absolutely dominating this game. And how on earth is it that Augsburg have got themselves into this sticky situation of being on the bottom of the table? Vargas into the box that time. Again, it gets blocked. And Werder Bremen get a chance to bring it out, but they don't. And Vargas wins it back again. Finn Bogerson and passes it into Guzo. And along to Jedve, back to Guzo. And we're playing very, very well. So lots of real good challenges and putting your body on the line for the team and really going in for the ball. And then when we get it, we can calm the play down and play this simple style of controlled possession. And there's a lovely ball to Max. What an amazing strike that is. I want him to play left back in every single team I ever manage in Football Manager, I think. Wow, what a double from Max today. A cushioned header for the first one. Some nice play by Jedve on that right hand side. Finds his fellow fullback and he rockets it into the back of the net. And we are 4-0 up after 19 minutes of the game. And this is just ridiculous. How are they in this relegations battle? I know we put a couple of players in and changed it a little bit, but for goodness sake, they still had Finn Bogerson, Hahn and Max in their side, and Vargas. And this is just amazing. Elena out wide left to Max, who runs again. He's got a penalty for us, surely. The ref's going to go and check it out on his little monitor. Is he? No, he's not even going to bother doing that. And Max on the hat-trick. That's what I put them, I put the settings so that if you're on a hat-trick, you can take the penalties. And Max, our left fullback, who is the star player in our side, absolutely, he got a hat-trick after 23 minutes, and we're 5-0 up. What have they been doing? Oh, he's worn himself out though a little bit, Max. He's on 76% conditioning. We're going to have to take him off at half time probably, because he's just done a full day's work in 20 minutes, which is unbelievable. Such a good first half of football, and it's just absolutely flown by. 5-0 at half time. Oh, I haven't had so much fun in a long time playing Football Manager. What a brilliant day. I think we should let the team know we appreciate their efforts. Do you? He's earning his money, isn't he, the assistant manager today? Oh, passionately, I'm very happy with how things are going. Keep it up. Do you know, I think I might actually take Max off, though. I don't want him to get a problem in conditioning, and we've got a decent one on the bench in the Argo, so I am going to take Max off. It seems a bit odd after scoring a hat-trick, but I've got to protect him. I don't want to lose him. He's too important. So we're going to do that and go into the second half and see how we get on. See whether, the game calms down a little bit, or are we going to get into double figures today? Another 5 goals would be amazing. But here come Werder Bremen. They've probably had a rocket put up them by their manager at half-time, you would imagine. And they're going to come out fighting, are they, in this second half? And they get a first chance down the right-hand side, cut it back centrally to Klaassen. And they're working the ball nicely across the penalty box. But we're holding our shape really, really well. Oh... That's a shame, isn't it? That is an absolute shame. Jedve, is he given the penalty away? He has. So a chance early in the second half for Werder Bremen to come back into the game a little bit. And what a save that was. What an absolute thunderbolt from Klaassen. And Kupek just absolutely, it either hits him in the head and rebounds, or he actually gets a hand to it or something. But he did brilliantly well to keep that out with such power behind it. And it keeps our 5-0 lead, which is brilliant. But again, Werder Bremen come back at us, and they get a chance again through central midfield to spray it out wide left. They're at the top of the penalty box. Can they get a shot away? We're again holding our shape. Can we get a block in? The shot comes in, but it's narrowly wide. There was good build-up play, but they rushed the shot a little bit, I think. And then they've counter-attacked us here. We were on an attack ourselves. Excuse me. And they've found their way all the way into our penalty box. Good block on the ball, though. Good defensive work. And Vargas goes possibly too early. He could have run with the ball a little bit more. And again, we lose it. But we had a chance to counter-attack on them then and didn't quite take it. And they come back at us down this right-hand side. Cross comes in. Again, a good headed clearance, though, from the central defence. And this time the ball sticks up at Finn Bogerson, excuse me. And Hahn takes over down the right-hand side. Richter, one of the scorers of our goals. Can he get it back to Hahn? He does. Cross comes into the far post, and a simple tap-in by Vargas on that far post. And we go 6-0 up after 55 minutes. And whilst there was a bit of to and fro between the two sides having a go, and we did some really good defensive work there to really get a basis for moving forward. And eventually it comes to Hahn, and again he goes wide to the other wide player on the far side in Vargas, who's right at that back post, and he pokes it home for a 6-0 lead. And we're playing so well. I mean, we haven't even had the most of the possession, but what we have had is just so dangerous when we've got the ball. A throw-in for us down the right-hand side for Jedve, and nicely and calmly plays it in, and Guzzo with the cross to Iago, and then I thought our other left back was going to get a goal then, but he didn't quite. It got parried out, but Guzzo on the follow-up has a completely free and empty net to poke the ball home in, and we're winning 7-0. This is my relegation rescue. I think we might just do it. Don't you? Oh, this is nuts. This is nuts. A 4-1 win against Union. Oh no, they've called it offside. I wasn't paying attention at all. I was just too busy cackling away. Did they chalk it off? I don't know what they did. Did they? No, they didn't. Oh, this is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on now at all. I've lost count of what the score was before that effort and all sorts. I don't know what to do anymore. My head's gone to mush. Diaz is coming on. Oh no! Please tell me that please tell me he's not going to be out for weeks. That would put a real dampener on it, wouldn't it? And we're going to make one more substitution just to keep as many people fit as we can, and it's Elena that's the least one. So we're going to bring Moravec on instead of Elena, just to keep Elena healthy as much as we can for the last sort of 5-6 minutes of the game. And what a brilliant game that has been. I couldn't have asked for absolutely anything more other than Diaz is on the ball. Can we get something out of him now? Can he create a problem for this defence of Werder Bremen in the last couple of minutes? Lovely work from Jedve, and cuts it inside into Vin Bogerson, Richter, and eventually they get it cleared. But we're going to win it back again and go down this left-hand side. Yago cuts in, out to Diaz, wide right. Nice ball on for Jedve. Opens up the space, back to Diaz. Can he get something from it? Oh, keeping the ball really nicely. Just to run down the clock. Eventually the ball comes in, but it's cleared only partially by Werder Bremen, and Moravec gets it along to Vargas. A little bit lucky there. Cross comes into Diaz, and he almost had a chance, but that was a long header to get a goal from. But again, he's on the ball, cuts it into Finn Bogerson, and he turns on a sixpence and powers it past the goalkeeper. And Diaz, does he get the assist for that? If he does, there you go. That's another new signing on this particular occasion, coming in and making an impact on this side. Nice work from Jedve. Diaz gets it out from his feet. Finn Bogerson takes it away from the defender and then turns on a sixpence and powers it straight past the keeper, who probably should have done a bit better than that. But we are 8-0 up, and an 8-0 win for the bottom side in the Bundesliga. 4-1 and 8-0 in the last two games. Wow, that's just incredible. Passionately, I'm very happy with the performance, and I really am. That's no word of a lie at all. Let's go and see what it's done for the league table. Where have we? We're in 13th all of a sudden. And you can see that we've got a much better goal difference. Even if it's terrible on -4, really, it's so much better than the teams around us, which shows I don't know what they were doing for the first half of this season. I really don't. But we're in 13th place. Get your bets in now, guys. Where are we going to actually finish this season? Put that in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you think. I reckon we can certainly find ourselves into mid-table fairly comfortably, I would imagine, if we carry on this way. But there's no guarantees of that, of course. We've got some really hard games to come. So we play Frankfurt next, who are in the bottom three. And then we've got Freiburg. And where are they sitting currently? Where can I see them? I can't find them. You're all screaming out. Oh, there they are in 12th. That'll be the next game that we come back and play. We'll come back and play Freiburg in the next game, in the next episode, should I say. So I'll go off screen and play the game against Frankfurt first and see how we get on with that. But what an amazing performance. What an amazing couple of results. And just a decent, positive momentum shift can do wonders for this side, I think. And I think we've demonstrated that they were in such a weirdly false position. But there you go. It is what it is. I loaded up the game one time, and Augsburg was sitting bottom of the league, so we took over as we said we were going to do. And now look at what we can achieve. So yeah, let's look forward. Get those comments in, those predictions in the comments below. Let me know what you think. But until next time, thanks so much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying this series. I'm loving it so far. I must say it's been brilliant so far. If you are, subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with the videos that I release. If you like this episode, and I really did, then please click that like button. Help me get seen by lots of other people. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon, and bye for now.